been a minute. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jem, and I'm so grateful to be a junior doctor working in the UK. I'm even more grateful though to be a Christian and to know Jesus. So apart from this YouTube channel, I also have a blog and other social media sites that I post on, where I post about life as a Christian medic, faith, lifestyle, dance, music, all of the above. If you are interested in finding out a little bit more, then I'll link those below. So my last video was made during my third year of med school, and this focused on a bit of my journey getting into medical school and then going through med school and just the different things I experienced, from Freshers Week to starting placement to work-life balance. And yeah, there was a lot in that video. So if you're interested, then I would recommend going to watch that. And since then, a lot of things have happened. I was so grateful for the opportunity to intercalate abroad and finishing up my med school studies to graduate by God's grace as a junior doctor and start working as an F1. I'm thinking of making like a separate video talking just about the intercalation experience because that was amazing. So let me know if you guys want to see that. But I think a catch up is long overdue. So if you're watching, just get comfortable, get your drinks, get your snacks, and yeah, let's catch up. So like I said, intercalation kind of just deserves a whole video in itself. But just to explain a bit about it, intercalation in the UK is where med students get to take a year out of their usual medical studies and pursue either a bachelor's or a master's degree in something that they find interesting, that may be either directly related to medicine or maybe kind of the broader healthcare context. And for me, this is global health. It's something that I was really interested in even kind of before med school, and I'd really developed my interest in that throughout my earlier years of med school. And I've written a blog post in the past talking a bit about how global health compares to studying medicine, different overlaps, key differences as well. So I'll link that below for you guys. But overall, I loved the experience and I was just so grateful for the opportunity to travel, study in a different country, to really just delve into some key areas of interest and develop my areas of interest as well. Even things like social determinants of health and education are things that I've become really passionate about through the degree. So I was really grateful for that opportunity. I also made some incredible friends and I also joined an amazing international church as well. So yeah, I'm really grateful that God provided that opportunity. So yeah, let me know if you want a separate intercalation video. So after finishing up my intercalation, I went into my final 2 years of med school, and this is where we really started to grow in more of our clinical exposure and our clinical knowledge, applying a lot of the experiences that we'd had in the previous years to placement. Outside of medicine, during this time, it was really important for me to maintain a really good work-life balance. So being able to prioritize friendships and family, and just wider areas of interest as well. And I'm sure, as most students can tell you, final year can be a struggle for sure. And it was definitely my hardest year of med school. But I'm so grateful that God made it possible for me to graduate last year, around this time last year. And yeah, we had a lot of celebration, a lot of times of joy, and just having fun with family and friends. I think it's really important to celebrate the achievements and things that God has helped you to do. Because we really go through so much in life, and it's important to take these moments to celebrate and to appreciate the things that are good in your life and to practice gratitude as well. I think overall final year definitely taught me that it can be difficult to close a chapter on something, especially when you've been somewhere so long or you formed such deep friendships with people. I experienced a similar thing during my intercalation when we had formed such deep friendships and then we had to leave, especially people being from all over the world, you know, and it's difficult to know when you're all going to be in the same place at the same time again. But overall, these experiences of closing chapters and moving on has taught me that just because a time ended doesn't mean that you can't celebrate it, doesn't mean you can't be happy about it. And also it doesn't mean that you can't take those relationships with you where you go, like having catch-up calls with people and just being able to check in with friends, meeting up where possible has been actually a really amazing experience, just because I feel like that is what adult life is, like transitioning into that next phase of being able to intentionally prioritize friendships and being able to just take time out of your busy schedule to make sure that you're upholding what's important to you, whether that be hobbies or side hustles, things you enjoy. I would say that it's really important to carry those things with you when you're going to a new place. Speaking of going to new places, starting F1. So to explain a bit more about F1, this just basically means Foundation Year 1, which is the first year of the foundation program in the UK. This is 2 years after you graduate from med school, where you're working as a junior doctor and just consolidating the information that you learned during med school, applying it to patients, being able to work within a team, and just learning a lot of those foundational skills that you're going to need for your career. For most people, including myself, this is a massive step because it involved moving away from home, moving away from my university town and most of my friends, and starting work in a place that was completely foreign to me, that I had no idea how most of the systems and things work. Again, I would say that this is a whole other video, to be honest. So let me know if you want me to talk a bit more about just the whole F1 year and how to navigate that, especially from a Christian perspective, because I think that's really important. So let me know if you're interested in that. In terms of settling into the area, again, I think finding a church for me was so important, just because you need to have that community of people who know you and you're able to just tell them what's going on in your life, and you can pray for them, they can pray for you. It's also just fun to have people to hang out with and to do life with. I don't believe that we're called to do things alone. I believe that we're called to do things in community, especially when we do something as major as uprooting your life and moving to a new place. I believe that church provides such an important support system for that, and there are people who they want to pray for you, they want to advocate for you, and it's really a blessing to be able to be involved in their lives and to serve, maybe serving in a different area that you've not done before. I think it's incredible, and it's a blessing to be able to do that. So I'm really grateful for my church. So I would say that was basically the last few years in a nutshell. And the next steps are going to be me moving on to F2, which again, I'm so grateful that God made that possible. I'm really keen to keep you guys updated and involved in the journey. Just as I've explained before in previous videos, I think there's a lot of information out there on just general medic life, medic stuff, F1, med school, but I think there's not that much from a Christian perspective, and it would be really amazing to have a community where we can talk about that and just to be able to share experiences, support each other, give advice. So if you guys have any particular things you're interested in hearing about, key things from my experience, or just generally faith-wise you want me to share, I'd be really keen to know and see what we can do. So I think I just want to finish the video by talking about some of the main lessons and things I've learned from this journey, from Christian med student to Christian junior doctor, just the whole journey over the 6+ years of what God has been teaching me, what I want to share with you guys. I would say probably the number one thing that I've learned from this whole experience is just that it's really important to be honest with God about how you're feeling, whether this is feeling super happy or you're having a really difficult day, you're anxious about something, or you're even doubtful and really struggling to trust Him. I would say it's really important to be open with God and not feel like you can't come to Him with everything that you're feeling, because we can. I thought I'll share from Proverbs 3:5-6 that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him and He'll make your path straight." And I think this is so important for a lot of the things we go through as medics when we're studying and when we're working. We're constantly learning and being faced with challenges, being faced with happy moments, sad moments, and I think it's really important to come to God with that and to process that with Him in prayer. And importantly, always asking Him for help in everything, the big things, the small things, and having that time where we're able to pray and read our Bible, just have closeness with God, is really important for us to be able to serve others, because we can't serve others through our job, through our work and our study, unless we ourselves have been filled first. I think the second major thing that I learned from this journey is to surround yourself with truth, and this can be in so many different forms. So having good community is really important, people to speak into your life, people to encourage you with God's word, and having that time where you read His word yourself, having a daily time where you come before God, you read His word. And it's especially important in those moments where you're just feeling so weak, or you're going through difficulty with exams or work is stressful, or you might be just having a tough time in your personal life. I find it so helpful to have specific Bible verses that encourage me and that speak specifically into my situation, what I might be facing at that time, just to combat any negativity that I might be feeling and help me focus on what's really important. And this focusing on what's important is so helpful. It can come in so many different forms. Like for me, I like to have, alongside the Bible verses, specific playlists or music that I listen to that I find really encouraging, or certain preachers or podcasts that I like to listen to that I find very uplifting and just help me take my eyes off my circumstances and what I might be facing and focus on God and His Word, what He has to say about my situation, what He has to say about me. And I always come away from it encouraged every time. And lastly, the most important thing I would say that I've learned from this journey is God's sovereignty over everything. The Bible talks about how God is Alpha and Omega, which means that He's the beginning and the end. And I've really known this to be true through my journey of starting med school, going through med school, and by His grace finishing, graduating. But it's amazing that even with this Alpha and Omega, He's still the God of the in-between, and He sees everything, all the mundane things that we experience, all the day-to-day stuff that just feels like a struggle or just feels very tedious. He's with us through everything we do, and I've just found Him to be so faithful over these last few years in starting, completing, but also just seeing me through the in-between. And I'm so grateful to know God. And this is why, from my experience as a Christian, I'm so grateful to know Jesus, because He's with me in everything that I do, and He's really the one that has sustained me, and that's helped me to be able to go through this journey, and not just, to endure it, but to enjoy it and to be able to see all the joy and the privilege of being able to work in the medical profession, all the amazing things that comes with, the wonderful patients that you meet, the amazing colleagues that you spend time with and form bonds with, and just even seeing how you yourself grow and develop your competency, and you're able to do things before that you weren't able to do maybe a few months ago. Seeing that whole learning process has been really amazing as well. So yeah, that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching and somehow found it encouraging or interesting. Please just know that God loves you so much, and He wants to be with you in everything that you do. He wants to encourage you. He wants to strengthen you. And He also wants us to encourage each other and strengthen each other. So yeah, if you have any encouragement, just post it down below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.